Alright, so I've wanted to do this one for a while now. This is probably by far my all-time favorite game ever. It's Azure Dreams. It was for the PlayStation 1. It There's a lot of games that are a lot like it nowadays, kind of like Chocobo Mystery Dungeon and Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. But I still will always prefer this game compared to those ones. So we're gonna do a little bit on here. Get past this starting. His name's always Ko. So it's basically a tower, and it's 40 or 50 floors. I think it's 50. Progressively getting stronger. You go in with your main character, and then you get eggs in the tower. There's like 60 different monsters that you can actually hatch and fuse together, get all kinds of cool skills. There's some monsters in there that give you double attack. There's some that let you attack twice. There's some with double attack. There's some that or double defense. There's some that let you physically move twice, which is nice. So if you do a fuse and you take any monster in the game that you really prefer, fuse it with a weaker version of something that gives double attack, you'll give double attack to that stronger creature. So it was pretty in-depth back in the day. It was really good. Just a little story building at the start. Daddy teaching him how to be a man. Daddy's in trouble in the tower. It's pretty sad starting because Daddy died right at the start. Alright, let's get into the game. Turned 15, so I can finally go into the tower myself. Follow my daddy's footsteps and go get killed. There's sister, best friend, mom, and the old man of the town. I don't need no information. I already know how to play this game. Going no matter what, buddy. So the way the progression works is your monsters will always keep their levels and experience every time you go in the tower, but your main character will lose its levels every single time. Every time you leave the tower. If you leave the tower with a rend crystal, you can keep all your items and sell them in the shops. If you die, you lose everything but the monsters you entered with. If you hatch an egg inside the tower, you can use that monster inside the tower. But if you leave the tower, you won't get to keep it. So in order to keep monsters outside the tower and have a big collection of monsters, you have to leave successfully with a unhatched egg and then hatch it inside your monster hut, and then it becomes yours. It's kind of like you have to climatize it to your house. Because if you climatize it to the tower, it's always going to want to stay in the tower. So Kyun is the first guy. So I did have a copy of this game as a kid. I played it on the PlayStation 1. Sadly, right now I'm having to play this on the emulator because any actual official copy of this game is well over $100 now. So, not easy to get a hold of. It is on my goal to get a hold of because it is by far one of my favorite games of all time. So, alright, so we're in the game. The first floor is going to be pretty much dedicated to just a tutorial teaching me how to play the game. We can skip through all of this. Lots of talking on the first floor, and then it's free game. Get my first weapon. We got an orb, so the orbs are magic you can use. Fire will shoot a fireball in front of me. It can only be used a certain amount of times, and you can't figure out how many times you have left unless you use like truth glasses, and it would tell you. Otherwise, you're just using it until it tells you that you can't use it anymore, and then you waste a turn. So it can get you killed. But you know for a fact, a fresh fire orb you can at least use 2 or 3 times. So gotta kind of keep count. We got our first gear. There's the eggs I'm talking about. It's the very first egg of the tower. I think normally the very first one in the very first tutorial floor is always a pinlip, which you'll see here in a second. The very first creatures, the weakest monsters of the game. There's a pinlip. Alright, first floor is done. Alright, so that was the tutorial. Now we just go ham. Everything after this is all random. Every floor is random generated except for floor 1 and 2. Well, at floor 2 after you first do the tutorial. Because that's where you fight your arch rival, actually. Get our first couple levels. So now, Kuhn, next time I enter the tower, will be at least level 2. So the first floor will automatically be way easier next time. So the goal is just to keep looking on these randomly generated floors and try to find that elevator that goes up. There's one. But we kind of don't want to go up because the monsters are going to get really strong. So we're going to wait right here and make these guys come fight so we can get hopefully level 3 before we go up to the next floor, because it's going to be mean. Oops. So this guy's a little strong for the first time you approach him, so we'll use a fireball and disperse him. There we go, we got level 3. We can go to the next floor now. So speedrunning this game, you just got to get super lucky and get the right items and avoid monsters. Make sure you don't spawn in rooms like this that have 3 monsters in it right off the bat. Because speedrunners try to do it in one go. So they're focusing a lot on getting the right weapons and shields and using the main character and surviving, using a lot of orbs. Because in all reality, the last boss is actually pretty easy in this, so you just got to get to him. Whoops. So the very first goal of the game is to get strong enough to get to floor 12, because then you'll get a second caller and you can have 2 people following you, and then that's when you can start doing fusions. Because you can't fuse if you can only summon 1 monster. So the main goal right now, the only way to get out of here safely is with a wind crystal. There is another way if you're in a panic scenario and you have no other way out and you got some expensive like weapons and stuff and you kind of just got the shaft and didn't get a wind crystal. There's these fruits you can feed to a monster and it turns them into an egg and then you can leave. Oops. So right now we're kind of a little screwed. We're just kind of panicking. So this guy can use a fire spell that will one-shot me, and that's why I'm zigzagging. I'm hoping he doesn't, which is gonna do it right here. We might get the other floor. Ooh, barely lived. We have a chance. Uh-oh. We toast. Alright, that was it for the first tower run. So yeah, you're gonna rinse and repeat that over and over and over, get stronger, 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 get all kinds of really cool monsters, and just make your way to the top of the tower. Try all kinds of new fusions, try different elementals, different spells, different passive traits, all kinds of cool stuff. And then it's got a city building mechanic, so you can actually improve the entire city based on how much money you make inside the tower. So since I died, I lost every item in my inventory except for the monster, so I only have Q now. I didn't get any money, so I can't really upgrade yet, so you're just going straight back into the tower. We're going to continue on. I'll probably play a little bit on my own time, and then I'll just show you what it looks like a little bit farther inside the game for part 2. So this was the intro to Azure Dreams. If you want to check out part 2 and just see like what a high-end group and towards the end of the towers looks like, just subscribe and follow me along for the next video that I'll post up in a couple days following this up. So we'll see you next time. Peace.